So good afternoon everyone. So far we have seen the parametric representation of curve and the surface, like one parameter and two parameter. For curve we have seen the length of the curve, and for surface we have seen the surface area. So the screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
fine.
Yes, sir.
So now we'll see some more definition and some terms which we will use to define the line integral and surface integral. Line integral means integration over curve, surface integral means surface integration over surface. So that we will see. So the definition is scalar field. So now what is the scalar field? Scalar field is a function that assigns a scalar to each point in its domain. And vector field is that assign a vector, that means the range of scalar field is a scalar, that means a real number, and vector field have the range as a vector. So in mathematical sense, the scalar field, if m belongs to the natural number and d is a subset of Rm, and if function is from d to r, then it is called scalar because range is real number. And vector field, the function is from d to Rm. Rm means it has a m component, that means it is not a scalar, it is a vector. So can anyone give an example of a scalar field and vector field in R3? Instead of Rm, can you give me an example of a scalar field? That means D is a subset of R3. So if it is the function from R3 to R, then it is a scalar field. So can you give me an example of a function from R3 to R? Like here D is a subset of Rm. So M I took 3, that means 3 R3. Then the scalar field will be the function from R3, subset of R3 to R. So give me one example of a function from R3 to R.
F x y z is equal to x square plus y square plus z square.
Yes, so here three component x, y, z. Suppose x square plus y square plus z square. So this is a real number and this is a vector in R3. So it is a scalar field. Similarly, we can give one example of a vector field. So these are the example. So the first one is the example of a vector field, three component, x plus y plus z, x minus y, and this x square plus y square plus z square. So this is a vector field from R3 to R3. This is from R2 to R2, and this is the part C. This phi function x y z is a scalar field because it is a mapping from R3 to R. It is defined, this range is in real number, so it is a scalar field. Now two more definition. When you will say this scalar field is smooth or vector field is smooth. So a scalar field f from D to R, D is a subset of Rm, is said to be smooth if its all partial derivative exist and continuous. Then we'll say that the scalar field is smooth. So like this part C is a scalar field, so that means its partial derivative means the partial derivative with respect to x, with respect to y, and with respect to z. This all will exist, and if these are continuous, then we'll say that this scalar field is smooth. For vector field, this is a vector field. When we'll say the vector field is smooth if its component is smooth. So like this first example, the component is x plus y plus z, that means its partial derivative exists and continuous. Similarly for second component x minus y, its partial derivative exists and continuous, and the third component also. So each component, so vector field f from D to Rm is called smooth if its component are smooth. For scalar field, that means its partial derivative exists and continuous, but for vector field its components partial derivative exists and continuous, then we'll say that it is smooth. So for this smooth scalar field and vector field, we will define something. So if f is like this in R3 to R3, so So fx y z, this is the first component. I wrote in terms of I cap, j cap. So this is not k, that is j. So I will correct it. This is j cap. You can write the same thing like this also. So both notation have the same meaning. And h x y z. So here f is a function of from R3 to R3. So that is nothing but fx comma y comma z. So in my slide, if I will write in the bold face, that means that is a vector, that is not a scalar. So it is written in the bold face, that means it is a vector. So you can write this same vector in terms of like this is the first component, so I cap, j cap and h cap, and it is given it is smooth. That means the partial derivative of f, g and h exist and continuous. Similarly, this phi is also smooth. That means the partial derivative of phi will exist and continuous. Continuous means that partial derivatives are continuous. Then we will define something. So out of this, like del operator, you know, del by del x I cap, del by del y j cap, and del by del z k cap. So that we have already seen. What is the del operator?
So what is phi function?
Yeah, phi function is a scalar field. That means it is a function from R3 to R. Scalar field means its range is R. So that is the definition. It will assign a vector. So x, y, z is a vector. It will assign to each points of vector in its, to the scalar. That means it is a scalar field. If it will assign to vector, then it is a vector field. That means range should be vector, then vector field. If range is a scalar, that is scalar field.
Yes.
So if phi is a scalar, that means it is some real number, and this is a vector. That means we can write like this in 3 dimension. Then these are sum operator. So gradient we have already seen. What is the gradient? That means this del operator, if you apply some scalar, this phi, then it will be this del phi by del x, del phi by del y, del phi by del z. So this is the del operator that we have already seen. So grade phi is also we have seen, and this grade phi will represent this normal to that one. So that we have seen. So that is called gradient of phi. So if we will read this notation, we'll read like gradient of phi. That means it is square of a del operator. So here it is square will come del square by del x square plus del square by del y. So it is the dot product of these two. So if this is the del operator, then dot product of this will be del square by del x square plus del by del y square and del by del z square. So now two more thing is that one is called divergence of a vector field. So here this f is a bold face that will define only the definition is that this is del dot f. So this is dot product and this is the cross product. So this dot product and cross product is only defined on vector. So this dot means dot product of vector, and this cross means this is the cross product of vector. So this means the cross product. So gradient phi we have already seen. So now here 3 extra came. One is Laplacian operator, one is divergence, and one is curl. So definition of the divergence means it is the dot product of del operator. That means del square, or it can be written as that this delta. So if you take the dot product of del, then you will get this. Gradient phi is this. If you apply this del operator over phi, you will get this one. Divergence of means, so you can remember, if you want to remember this, d for dot and d for divergence. So if it is divergence, that means it is dot product. If it is curl, then it is called cross product. C for curl and C for cross. So you can easily remember. So cross product of vector field. So vector have this component f, g, h. Then you know how to find the cross product I cap, j cap and k cap. So this del has this component del by del x, del by del y and del by del z. And then f has 3 component f, g and h. So it is the cross product. This determinant will give the cross product of delta with f, and that is nothing but the curl of f. So now So this is the definition of gradient, divergence and curl. These three things are more important. We will use when we will define line integral and surface integral. We'll do some example also based on how to find gradient. So one major thing is that this del operator, is it a vector or a scalar? This del operator.
Vector. Vector.
It is a vector and it is a vector in 3D. It has the three component del by del x, del by del y and del by del z. This phi is a scalar because it is a scalar field. If you apply this vector del operator over this phi, phi is a scalar, but after applying this del operator, it will become vector. You can see this is I component, j component, k component. So what this del operator will do, if you apply this del operator over a scalar, it will become vector. And here we are taking the dot product in divergence. So this f is a vector, it has a three component f, g and h. But if you apply this del operator over vector, that means if you are calculating the divergence, it will give only one value. That means it is a scalar. So divergence of f is a scalar, but the gradient of f is vector. So what is the conclusion of these two means, if you apply del operator over a scalar, it will become vector. If you apply over vector, it will become scalar. Scalar means a real number, it will become some number. And curl is the cross product, the vector cross product is remain a cross means vector only. So now we'll do some example, we'll calculate gradient, divergence and curl. So this divergence is defined only for vector because dot product we can do in vector only. Similarly, curl is also defined for vector, but gradient is defined for scalar. So this vector and scalar now throughout it will come. So one more thing is that this cross product is defined only in 3 dimensions. So what this note says that the gradient we can define in Rm, like you can define gradient in R3, R4, even Rn, any R2, R3 and any Rn dimensional space. But this divergence is also defined for Rm, but this cross product is only defined for 3D. So that is the note, like this all is written, this all from Nebel operator, Laplacian divergence, they are defined for Rm, any Rm, but this curl is defined only for subset. It is written the subset of R3, that means it is, you can define at R2 also, you can define but R3 also, but you cannot go beyond R3. That is only for this curl. So this curl is defined only for the subset of R3, it cannot go beyond the R3, but the top one can be go R4, R5, even Rn also. So here that is the note. So now we'll do example based on this. So the question is find the divergence and curl of the following vector field. So definitely it has a three component. This is ith component, jth and kth. The question is find the divergence and curl. So I will use the definition of the divergence. So divergence of f, that means this del operator dot product with f. For curl it is cross product. So del operator means del by del x, I cap, del by del y j cap and del by del z k cap in 3 dimensions. This is the del, the value of del. Then dot product with f. F means x square minus z I cap j cap plus xy k cap. So can you tell me what will be the dot product of this? These two vector. So dot product of this vector with this vector. So this is given means it is same as this with I cap, this with j cap and xy with k cap. That is the meaning of this. So what will be the dot product? How to find the dot product?
2x.
2x
Yeah,
I
that means
cap
del
on
by del x. Yes, that means del by del x will apply over this. So I'm writing the dot product. This plus del by del y apply over this x e to the power z and del by del z apply over xy. So now the partial differentiation of x square minus z with respect to x will give 2x. There is no y,
0,
0.
0.
0. So the answer will come 2x. So the divergence of this is 2x. Can you find the divergence of this part B? That means the same thing. Here only two component is there. So the part B, this is part A. So now part B, the divergence of F, because here only it is in vector in R2. So we'll take the same formula del dot F, but here del is only in two component, I cap and j cap, this dot product with F, and F is given this minus y by x square plus y square. This is the first component, plus x by x square plus y square j cap. So now what will be the dot product? Dot product will be del by del x of this plus del by del y of this. So what is, after differentiation, what answer will come?
0.
So the answer
0.
will come 0, 0. So here divergence is coming 0. So for both the part I calculated the divergence. Divergence means the dot product. For curl we will take the cross product. So tell me one out of these two, I will do one curl. A or B, which one you want, I will do for that.
Or can you explain
Part A
part
or-
B for divergence?
Yeah. So divergence formula is del dot F, because it is two dimension. You can see from here. This is the first component, this is the second component. So only two component. Then del will become del by del x I cap, del by del y cap. So this is the operator del. Del operator in 3D is this one. Because it is two components, so this part will not come. So that means this is the only the del operator. So I wrote that del operator. Then dot product, this is the dot product. And then this is the F. F is given, this is the first component I cap and this is the j cap, second component. And then dot product of this. Now do the partial differentiation of this with respect to x and this with respect to y. Then do the sum, you will get 0. Is it okay?
So can you say why you are saying this divergence?
Yeah, that is the definition of the divergence. The divergence of f is defined that by this del operator dot f. The curl is defined by del cross f. So this curl is actually representing the rotation in the field. So that I don't want to tell, that is the physics term. It will represent the rotation in the field. So if you would like draw this picture in 3D like of this curl, it will represent something like rotation in. Rotation means this vector will move like this, something like this. Suppose if this is the circular, then in the 3D it will something like this. So if the curl is 0, that means there is no rotation. So it came from the physics. So now in this question we have to find the divergence also. So divergence we already found, we have to find the curl. So the curl of f will be the del cross the cross product of f. So for the cross product we have to write I, j, k. So tell me which part you want to do, the part A or part B. I will do for that.
Second, part B.
Second.
Part
Okay. So here the del operator have three components, del by del x, del by del y, and del by del z. But this one, it has only two components. The last component, the third component is 0. There is no component. So here we'll write minus y by x square plus y square. Then x by x square plus y square, and this is 0. Now you can find the determinant, whatever you will get, that will be the curl for part B. So this vector you can write this with I cap, this with j cap, plus 0 times k cap. So that's why 0 here. So now the next example is you have to find the gradient of a vector field. This, sorry, scalar field. So these are the three examples. We'll do one by one the gradient of this. So gradient of this phi means same as del phi. That means we have to apply this I cap, j cap, k cap over phi. This is the del operator. So if we are doing part A, that means phi value is this one, part B phi value is this one, and part C phi value is this one. So we have to differentiate only with respect to x, y, z. So part A, the derivative of this phi with respect to x will come 2x I cap, plus the derivative with respect to y will give 2y j cap, and then 2z k cap. This is the answer for part A. For part B, the derivative of this with respect to x will give 1, that means I cap, minus 2 j cap, and with respect to z it is e to the power z k cap. So for part C, can you tell me what will be the gradient? This phi will go here, del phi by del x, del phi by del y, del phi by del z. So that's why I am differentiating with respect to x, y, z. So what will come the gradient in part C? Grade phi. That means this one. This is by formula only I am writing. J cap plus so here phi is given this one, then what will be the gradient?
1 plus y by e to the power x.
Yeah, 1 plus, so 1 means this is I cap. Here this with respect to y, if you differentiate you will get 1 by e to the power x, that is, so del phi by del x will give 1, del phi by del y will give minus 1 upon e to the power z k j cap, the derivative of this with respect to y, and then derivative of with respect to z is 0. Okay, this with respect to x, that will also come, so it will come, so I'm writing this as like this, x minus y e to the power minus x. So if you differentiate with respect to x, you will get 1, and then derivative of e to the power minus x will give minus times e to the power minus x. So the first component you will get 1, that is the derivative of this x, then derivative of you will give plus y e to the power minus x. This is the derivative with respect to x, plus derivative with respect to y will give this is 0, minus 1 upon e to the power minus x j cap, and this is 0 k cap. So that is the answer. From here we can see that this is the scalar field, it will takes the range is real number, but if you apply the gradient you are getting answer as a vector. So that means del operator, if you apply over scalar you are getting vector, if you apply over vector you will get the scalar, like we have seen in the previous example. These are all the example of vector, but if you apply this del operator, that means you are calculating the divergence, you are getting a scalar number, like we got this 2x as a scalar.
Sir, why part B is 0, sir? I can't understanding that.
This one.
Yes, sir.
So how to differentiate this with respect to x? What is the derivative of this?
Can we
Y
take y
as
square?
y is a constant, so you no need to differentiate, minus y will come out, then you have to differentiate 1 by x square plus y square with respect to x. Similarly here also this x will come out, you have to differentiate 1 by x square plus y square with respect to y. Then do the sum, both will come the same quantity, it will come 0. You can check.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Now the third question. So R is a vector that is given by xi cap plus yj cap, zk cap in ij cap notation. If you write in this notation, component notation, it will come x comma y comma z. Both have notation have the same meaning. and this r. So here you can see this is the bold face r, that means it is a vector. This r is a norm of this, that means the length of this vector. Then the question is, you have to show that part ABC, this will come 0, this will come this, and this one will come this. So tell me which part you want. Out of these three I will do only two. So tell me which one I will do. You can choose out of these three only two. So tell me, I will do that one.
B and C.
A and C. So I will start with A and C. So the A part is del r to the power n. We have to show that this one. So this r means this r, norm of r, this one. So what is the r value? This is vector r. Then what is the norm of this r?
Under root x square plus y square
plus z square root over.
Yes, x square plus y square plus z square to the power half. So this r to the power n means its power n. So I am writing this x square plus y square plus z square power n by 2. Now we will apply this gradient. So this means the gradient, because there is a no dot, there is a no cross, that means it is gradient. So this means del by del x of this I cap. So if this is phi, then this is del y by del x, del y. So okay, let me write like this only. So if this is equal to phi, then means del phi by del x I cap, del phi by del y j cap, and del phi by del z k cap. So now I will find the derivative of this phi with respect to x, with respect to y, and with respect to z. So I am calculating one by one. Del phi by del x. So what is the derivative of this phi with respect to x? So this is by the definition of this gradient, and this is phi, so I have to differentiate this with respect to x. The derivative of phi with respect to x. Can anyone tell?
n by 2.
Yeah, n by 2.
The whole thing
into
to the power n by 2 minus 1
n by 2 minus 1, and this
into
derivative of
2x.
2x,
2x.
and this 2 will cancel out. So you will get n. So this x square plus y square plus z square equal to r. So we will again replace, because we got the derivative. So I will replace x square plus y square z square equal to r square. So this whole quantity is r square. N by 2 minus 1 into x. So that will give n r to the power n minus 2 into x. Is it okay? So this r square multiplied by n by 2. So this is del phi by del x. Similarly, if you calculate del phi by del y, you will get n r minus, this is into y. Calculate with respect to z, you will get n r n minus 2 into z. So this all three value will replace here. Then we'll get del r to the power n. So all value I am replacing here. So del phi by del x means this one, del phi by del y this one, and del phi by del z, all three this value I will replace in place of del phi by del x. This will give n r n minus 2. This is del phi by del x I cap plus n r n minus 2 y it is j cap plus z it is k cap. So I replaced all value del phi by del x. So now what is common? I will take that common. N r n minus 2 is common. What will left? It will left like this,
R.
and that is r. This is a vector r. This is given r. so I cannot put it bold, so I am putting like vector notation. That means xi cap plus y cap plus j cap means that is this r. This r and this r are different, so this is the bold r, that means vector r. This is the modulus of that. So this is the part A. So now we'll do the part C. As you said, part C, divergence of r to the power n into r equal to n plus 3 r to the power n. So I will do part C. So I'm doing here. This is part C, divergence of r to the power n and r. So this r means the vector r. So I'm putting here vector symbol. So what is the divergence means? Divergence means del by del x of this. So let me first expand this, then only we'll do the divergence. Divergence means the dot product. So the dot product of this del operator with this r to the power n. R means this x square plus y square plus z square. So I am putting the value of r. R to the power n means this n by 2. And then r vector means xi cap yj. And we'll take the dot product. That means del by del x of this quantity, del by del y of this quantity, into x plus into y, this partial derivative with respect to y, and then partial derivative with respect to z. This is z. So what will come for the first part? So we'll differentiate this with respect to x, this with respect to y, and this with respect to z. After that, we'll convert into
Norm
the
of
r,
r
and
to the power n.
so we'll get n plus 3 r to the power n. So we have to differentiate all three one by one. So what will come the first term? So first term we'll do the differentiation by product rule. So what it will come? So I will write here. So I will do only one term, remaining I will write directly. So the first term, del by del x, this n by 2 into x. This one I am doing. So first term as it is, derivative of x is 1 plus the derivative of the first term will give n by 2 x square plus y square plus z square to the power n by 2 minus 1, and this derivative of x square will give 2x, and 1x is already there. So this 2 will cancel out. What we will get? This x square plus y square plus z square is r square. So this will give r square n by 2 plus n times. This is again r square whole to the power n by 2 minus 1, and this is again x square. So this much we will get. That means it will give r to the power n plus n times r to the power, this will also give n minus 2 x square. Is it okay? This is the first term differentiation. Similarly, if you do the second term, it will come r to the power n and r to the power n minus 2. Instead of x, it will come y square, and in the third, it will come z square. So if you add, that means this divergence will come adding all those terms. So this r to the power n will come in the all three terms. It will give 3, and this
Sir?
term will come. Yes.
Sir, n minus 2 by 2, where 2 is gone, so how can
Which 2? This one.
n by 2 minus 1, that's n by minus 2 only.
Yeah. So if you, this is r square. R square times n by 2 minus 1 will what?
Yes, sir, there are square.
So this all three term will come. So it will come n r to the power n minus 2. So x square will come in the first term. Second term will come y square. It will come z square in the last term. And this is nothing but r square. So r square r to the power n minus 2, total power of r will become r to the power n, and if you take common you will get n plus 3 r to the power n. So that is the final answer. So each term you can do the differentiation and then do the sum, you will get the divergence. That will come n plus 3 r to the power n. Here if you do, you will get the answer 0. So now we'll move to the next. So two more example. Curl of gradient phi will come 0 and divergence of curl f is also 0. So I will do both one. So I will prove this. Here it is given that f is a vector field, phi is a given scalar field, and this partial derivative of this phi f g h are exist and continuous. So under this condition, I will do first part A. It is given curl of gradient phi. Curl means cross product, gradient means this one. That means this value you have to prove it is 0. So first we will calculate the gradient phi. That is equal to this. So what is the value of grad phi? It will come del phi by del x I cap, del phi by del y j cap, plus del phi by del z k cap. This is the value of grad phi. Now we'll take cross product. That means we have to write as a determinant. The first component is I, j, k. Then this one have three components, del by del x, del by del y, del by del z. And this vector anyway have three components, del phi by del x, del phi by del y, and del phi del z. So now what is the cross product of this? What is the I cap component? So can anyone tell what is the I cap component?
0.
No, whatever coming, just tell me that one. It will come
Del phi.
del 2 phi by del y del z minus del 2 phi by del z del y, then minus j cap. J cap will come del 2 phi by del x del z minus del 2 phi by del z del x, and the last one will come k cap del 2 phi by del x del y minus del 2 pi by del y del x. So is it okay? So this grad phi means, this grad means del by del x I cap, del by del y j cap, and del by del z cap, because we are applying phi, so phi will come del phi by del x, del phi by del y, and del phi by del z. Because of this cross product, I took this determinant, and that determinant I calculated, it will come this one. So these are mixed derivatives. So when we will say this mixed derivative are equal, under what condition?
Partial derivative is continuous.
Yes, if it is exist and continuous, so that's why this condition is required. Here it is written phi is exist and continuous, so both are equal. So for phi, it is exist and continuous, so we can write it is 0. So the answer is 0 because it is given that phi partial derivative exist and continuous. So that's why mixed derivative will be equal. So this remaining condition is also require FGH when we will do the part B. So is it okay? This curl of gradient phi is always 0. So now we'll do the second one. Divergence of curl f is 0. So divergence means dot product, curl means cross product. So this curl means it is written cross product, divergence means dot product, so it is dot product. So we'll do the part B. Divergence of curl f. Curl f means cross and divergence means dot. So first we'll find the cross product, then we'll find the dot product. So let me first calculate the cross product. I, j, k, del means del by del x, del by del y, and del by del z. F has 3 components, small f, small g, and small h. These are the component of f. So now what will be the cross product? Will come I del h by del y minus del g by del z. This is the ith component plus jth component will come, so it will come something minus so j cap will come del h by del x minus del f by del z, and the last component will come del g by del x minus del f by del y. So this is the del cross f, the cross product of delta operator with f. F here it is given that it has a 3 components, small f, small g, and small h. And that is also given that small g and small h, its partial derivative exist, and these are continuous also. So now what will be the next step? We have to find the divergence of this. That means we have to find this del operator dot product with whatever we got. So what will be this one? This del means this vector. Del by del y j cap, del y by del z k cap. This is del operator. Dot product with this whole thing. So what is the dot product? What will come the dot product? Can anyone tell? This vector and this vector, whatever we got del cross f. So what will be the dot product? So this I dot I will come 1, j dot j will come 1, and k dot k will also 1. That means del by del x of this, del by del y of this, del by del z of this. Is it okay? So where to write? I am writing here only. There is no space, so I am erasing this, and I will write here. So this dot product with this will give del by del x of del h del y minus del g del z plus del by del y del h del x minus del f del z plus.
Sir, in the middle one, it will be minus.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will change it. Yeah, middle one is minus. So because f, g, h are its partial derivative exists and continuous. It is given in this question. So it will come del 2h by del x del y plus, and this del 2h by del h del y del x minus, both are equal, so it will be 0 because mixed partial derivative. So overall sum will come 0. It will be 0 when h, f, g, h all have partial derivative continuous, then only it is 0 because mixed partial derivative are equal in this case. So that is the answer of part B. So divergence of curl is 0, curl of grade phi is also 0. Now I will define two more definition and then I will stop for today's class. Based on this question, if this grade phi equal to something g, suppose this grade phi in the part A is something g, then curl of g is 0. So what this result says that if g is a smooth vector means its partial derivative exists and continuous, then only it is 0, such that the curl of g is 0, then g must be a gradient field. What does it mean? That g must be the grade phi. That means there exists a scalar phi such that g equal to grade phi. From the result 1, because curl of grade phi is 0, and if curl of g is 0, then that means that there exists a scalar phi such that g equal to grade phi. And if this will happen, then that g is called that phi is called the potential field. So if this is g, then curl of g is 0, that means g must be a grade phi. Similarly, if this curl in the second one, if this curl f is equal to h, like h equal to curl f, then divergence of h will be 0. So if divergence of any field is 0, that means there exists a field such that h equal to curl f. So is that clear? So there are two more definition. One is called potential field, one is called curl field. So any field which curl is equal to another field, that is called curl field. And what is the gradient field? For any field, if it is written as a grade of some scalar, then that field is called potential field. So next class we will see what is this use of this potential field. Suppose we are integrating some function. So can anyone tell what is the integration of sin x?
Minus cos x.
Minus
Minus
cos
cos.
x. So if this is small f, this is capital F. So what can you say about small f and capital F? Can we say that the integration of small f is capital F, that means the derivative of capital F is small f. So one is called derivative, one is called antiderivative. So derivative is minus cos x, its antiderivative is sin x. So something similar to that when we will define the line integral, this potential field is something similar to that. One is derivative, one is antiderivative. That we will see when we will define the line integral. So now any doubt anyone have, you can ask. So today's class we define mainly three things. One is gradient, one is divergence. The gradient we have already seen, and curl. And there is a relation, this one, curl of grade phi equal to 0 and divergence of curl f equal to 0. Based on this, two more definition came. One is potential field, one is curl field. So how to check any field is potential field or not, that we will see in the next class. And how to check any field is the curl field also, that also we will see in the next class. So if any field is given, that curl if you find and its divergence is 0, then you will say it is. So now I will just simplify this in terms of arbitrary, this one, the part 1. Curl of grade phi, this equal to 0, that we already proved. And here it is written for potential field g equal to grade phi. That means the curl of g is 0 and G equal to grade phi. So suppose G is a field and G equal to grade phi. What does it mean? Grade phi means this one. That means del phi by del x I cap plus del phi by del y del j cap, and this is del phi by del z k cap. And G is a vector field. It has suppose three component m I cap and j cap and k small k cap. Then these two vector are same. That means capital M equal to del phi by del x, capital N equal to del phi by del y, and capital K equal to del phi by del z. So if field is a potential field, that's component, first component will be del phi by del x, second component will be del phi by del y, and third component will be del phi by del z. But suppose the question is this one, I will complete again this one. Suppose a question is given, f is this one, x square I cap, y square j cap, and z square k cap. So the question is this is a potential field or not? That means you have to check that there exists a scalar phi such that it can be written in terms of grade phi or not. So if you write this in terms of grade phi, then we will get m equal to del phi by del x, n equal to del phi by del y, and this case. In this question, phi is not given. So how we'll check that any field is gradient field or not? So this is m is given x square, this is n, and this is k. For gradient field, this is the relation f equal to grade phi. But in this, there is no phi is given. So without phi, how can we check? With the help of this result. If any field is this satisfying this relation, that means it will satisfy this m equal to del phi by del x, n equal to del phi by del y, and k equal to del phi by del z. From this, we can say that clearly del m by del y, if it is smooth, is it equal to same as del n by del x? Because del m by del y will give del 2 phi by del x del y, and this one del 2 phi by del x del y. If it is smooth, then it is equal. Similarly, del m by del z equal to del n by del k by del x, del k by del x, and del n by del z equal to del k by del y. So if these three conditions will satisfy, then that field will be the potential field. So this one is coming from here, because if you find the mixed partial derivative del m by del y, it will come del 2 phi by del x del y, and if you differentiate n with respect to x, you will get del 2 phi by del x del y. Because it is smooth, so mixed partial derivative will be same. So that's why I wrote del m by del y equal to del n by del x.